start box for the third time today is Caroline Pamuchku on HSH Vamonos.
She is a busy lady this weekend.
She is a busy lady. This is a 10-year-old Warmblood Gelding, and their last run was at Plantation in the wet rain there, which I'm sure she's glad that she ended up running there so that this horse knows what it's like to run in a little bit of rain.
Absolutely. But with the little bit of rain we've had here, it's improved the footing. It's nothing compared to what I understand it was at Plantation.
I think it was an actual tropical storm, so I think thankfully that's not what's happening here this weekend. Here's Jan to the tricky angled brushes.
Wonderful. You know, you could see in her eye she had a plan. She was following her eye. The horse was following her eye, and it just happened very smoothly, and she executed it great.
Well, it looks like Caroline just had a lovely flowing ride through that first water.
Yes, with all the horses that Caroline's riding, and she's riding absolutely beautiful horses. Oh, almost looked like she forgot a turn there.
She wasn't sure where she was going.
She is riding beautifully.
She is, and it's very exciting that she's on our team for the Pan Ams that are heading out. I think that they leave next week.
And I agree with you guys having a conversation earlier, the idea of her keeping competing, and we're going to see Sharon a little bit later keeping competing right up to the big competition, because it does keep everything in check as far as your eye, as far as your will and your courageousness on the day like today, so you don't get tentative. You get out there and you're confident and you feel confident about what's happening underneath you.
Yeah, it's really exciting, as you said, Caroline and Sharon, but we also have Liz here, American riders here, doing just that, sort of staying in it and staying competitive and keeping their eye in.
And I think for those ladies, it'll be great to have Liz there as the person who's been around the block and been on a senior team before. She'll be able to help them.
This is actually Liz's first senior team.
Is it really?
Yes.
I just assumed she'd been around.
She had been picked for the games in Tokyo, but unfortunately wasn't able to travel. So this will actually be her first senior championship.
And speaking of riding beautifully, Mia is having a fantastic go from what we're seeing on this horse.
I think they're a really solidified partnership at this time. They've been together for a while and have really come up the grades together, so it's wonderful to see that experience and that partnership shown here today.
Definitely.
Just above her, Caroline to the park question at 9.
And is this Caroline coming up,
Yes,
I believe?
it is. That big white face is hard to miss. Lovely through
beautiful.
there. We hadn't seen that combination yet. It's exciting to see. Speaking of Liz, here she comes. And this is Liz on Shanro Cooley. And she is currently in third place on this horse on a 26.8. Look at that.
Boy, Mia didn't waste any time there, did she? She had a plan and she went to it.
Back up with Caroline. It's interesting, both of Caroline's horses that she's riding in the 4-star short division have been to Les Lions in the 6- and 7-year-old championships. This horse actually went with Emily King before she took up the ride. Here's Liz. Lovely through there.
Yes. And, you know, getting to watch these riders between Liz and Caroline and Mia, when you watch these ladies riding, they are so in balance with their horses, and their position just never changes. Their hands are very quiet, they're very settled, and you just watch their upper body position, and regardless of what's happening underneath them, everything just looks so smooth. And I think that's a real feather in their cap, and really speaks to the correctness of their riding.
We have a time in for Jan Binney and Beautiful Storm. They came home in 8 minutes flat. They will end up with 35.2, and they had that 20 as well. So I'm sure that she will be happy for that experience for the horse, and will, you know, take a lot from it as they move forward in their time together.
Very definitely. This will be a big learning experience for him, and I think he'll really gain from it when she starts getting him ready for next spring. And here we have Caroline going through the water and just walks through it.
Walks through it. That horse has an enormous stride, and it was lovely to see Caroline's position there because she knew it was going to come up maybe a bit tight, and she did not move an inch.
Yep, she was right in his balance on top of him and just behind his shoulder where she needed to be, and it was super.
Attention please down at the lower water here at the Smart Pack Splash. There's somebody down there with a dog on the leash, which is good, but you must be outside.
It's hard to appreciate looking at it from the film, but the angle that they are jumping through that coffin, the down angle off that first fence, it's a real braveness question of the horses.
Here we go, picking up Liz at the coffin.
And he does it like a gymnast.
He did. You could see him just pat the ground and say, there's that stride.
Yep, exactly. And here's Caroline at those brushes. Yep, look at that. Another, she just had her plan, she rode to it.